Job here, Poet Laureate for the city of Davis, California, and this is your weekly video poetry reading. This week, the poems of Chinese poet Wang Wei, who lived between the years 701 and 761. Perhaps China's first truly great Buddhist poet. He was admired as a poet, a landscape painter, and also as a musician, and he died serving with his State Department. And let's get started here. These translations were done by the great Sam Hamill. And I'm going to read these cold and randomly. Birdsong Valley, Wang Wei. I lie at ease where cassia blossoms fall. The night is still, the spring mountain empty. The rising full moon surprises mountain birds. They sing loudly in the spring valley. This is visiting the mountain hermitage of a monk at Ganghwa Monastery. He waits at dusk, bamboo walking stick in hand, at the headwaters of Tiger Creek, leading us on as we listen to mountain echoes following the water's way. Patches of wildflowers bloom. A solitary bird calls from the valley floor. We sit evening zazen in the empty forest. Quiet pine winds bring the odor of autumn. For those of you who don't practice Zen, zazen is Zen meditation. Sitting alone on an autumn night. Sitting alone in the empty hall late at night, I remember other temples. Fruit ripens and falls in the mountain rain. Insects call in the lamp-lit grass. Nothing can be done about my whitening hair. No alchemy produces yellow gold. Struggling against inevitably growing old, one can turn only to the Dharma. That's a good description of this part of my life, especially if you were to throw in not just hair turning white but falling out. Mourning for Yin Yao. How long can one man live before returning to emptiness? I know you welcomed death. 10,000 things can trouble a heart. Your good mother was not yet buried. Your daughter is barely 10. I hear from beyond the frozen wilderness the desolate sounds of laments. Clouds float across the empty sky. A bird on the wing cannot sing. Loneliness is the way of the wanderer. The white sun soon grows cold. I'm sorry that when you lived and begged to study the Dharma with me, my teaching came too late to bring you much success. Old friends always have gifts to bring, but in your lifetime, mine came a bit too late. I failed you in many ways. Tearfully, I close my brushwood gate. At Lee's Mountain Hermitage. The privileged fill the imperial ranks while the commoner happily withdraws. I follow the old hermit to his retreat on the mountain high above the forest. Wildflowers have yet to bloom. Old trees and young penetrate the clouds. Through bright daylight he still sleeps, even as mountain birds sing on. Chi River Gardens and Fields. We're reading the poems of Wang Wei. A solitary life beside Chi River. Eastern winds sweep where no mountains lie. The sun hides in the mulberry grove. The river shines, winding beside the village. Shepherds look back longingly at distant homes. Dogs follow the hunters home. What's a man of peace to do all day? His brushwood gate stays closed. This is Deer Park. No sign of men on the empty mountain, only faint echoes from below. Refracted light enters the forest, shining through the green moss above. This is at Lake Yi. Flutes echo from the far shore as we pause at sunset to bid farewell. Green mountains, inverted on the lake, plunge through pure white clouds. I love this poetry because it gives us images, clear, concise images. There's nothing obscure for the sake of obscurity. And it captures moments and glimpses into the life of Wang Wei, just as he saw them. The way to the temple. Searching for gathered fragrance temple. Miles of mountains rise into clouds. Ancient trees darken the narrow trail. Where is that mountain temple bell? Snowmelt crashes down on boulders. The sun grows cold in the pines before it drowns in the lake. Keep your karma in good working order. Many dragons lie in wait. Those images could easily be from hiking in the Sierra Nevada, not far from me, say in late spring. The pines are always green, but the pines are green. The snow is melting. The rivers and creeks are starting to rush. The water's crashing on the boulders. Maybe spots of snow still here and there. Crossing the Yellow River. A little boat on the great river, whose waves reach the end of the sky. Suddenly a great city, 10,000 houses, dividing sky from wave. Between the towns there are hemp and mulberry trees in the wilds. Looking back on the old country, wide waters, clouds, and rising mists. Sailing down the Han. 3 rivers join in the wilds of Chu. At Qingmeng, 9 flow through. This river flows beyond earth and heaven. Mountains disappear in the void. Rippling waves search for the sky. Farther on, great cities line the bank. Let's pause and enjoy this scenery. Let an old mountain sage get drunk. Reply to a magistrate. Late in life, I care for ease alone. To hell with official concerns. Look, I make no plans for the future, but to go back to my forest home again. Let pine winds loosen my robes. Mountain moons play my lute. You want to taste success or failure? A lone fisherman sings out on the water. At a house in the bamboo grove. I sit alone in the bamboo dark, whistling and playing my zither. And the woodsmen do not understand how this bright moon chose me to shine on. Return to Wang River. In the gorge where bells resound, there are few fishermen or woodsmen. Before I know it, dusk closes the mountains. Alone, I return again to white clouds and trembling water chestnuts where willow catkins fly. Spring colors the eastern landscape. Snared in a web of grief, I close my wooden door. At the hermitage of Master Fu. The path winds through secret peaks and valleys, through cloudy forests to the Dharma Hall. Winged immortals play fine music. Diligent nuns light incense. Beyond the bamboo grove, mountains shine, and in deep shade, the pool remains cool. How long has he sat in empty peace? The pathway smells like spring. Hermitage at Chungnan Mountain. Growing older, I grow into the Tao. Now I make my home in southern mountains and go there on a whim to wander alone. But even in all this splendor, things remain empty. I climb to the headwaters where clouds rise up from emptiness. If I chance to meet another hermit in the woods, we talk and laugh and never even think of home. And we will close with this poem, A Meal for the Monks by Wang Wei. I came late to the Dharma, but each day, deep in my retreat, Waiting for mountain monks, I sweep my single hut. Then down from cloudy peaks you come through knee-deep weeds. We kneel on bamboo mats, munching pine nuts. We burn incense and study the way. Light the lamp at twilight. A single chime begins the night. In every solitude, deep joy. This life abides. How can you think of returning? A lifetime is empty, like the void. Poetry from Wang Wei. And I hope you'll join me again next Friday when I post another poetry reading for you. Bless you all. Stay safe.